Live from the Hotel Indigo on Technology Drive next to the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. Welcome to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser. I'm Pat Bostic with Pitt football head coach Pat Narduzzi. And we're going to do a little off script today. We're a little bit tardy getting in, not our fault. Some technical difficulties, and we're going to fly right through this thing. We got Caleb Junko in the house, Pitt punter. The Pitt Popes in the house. The Panthers are back in action this Saturday. Noon kickoff at Acrisure Stadium. Coach, an open week. You refreshed?
Always refreshed on an open week, but, I think, as coaches, we just kind of roll as you go. You're working on little sleep, whether it's an open week because, spent 2 days on the road recruiting, and then you're rushing to get back to get ready for that next opponent, trying to fix the things that need to be fixed from the previous weekend. So there's no rest for the weary, during the season. There's no open weeks.
So that open week, though, from a player's standpoint, what's the balance of recovery and practice?
We cranked it up a little bit because it's a, week 4 open week. We went out in full pads on Tuesday or Wednesday, I should say, and then Thursday went out in shells. So we got 2 really good days and felt like we needed to go out and hit. We need to go out and tackle. We need to, go fit the run better than what we did 2 weeks ago, I guess. And it's the same thing on offense. We had to block and tackle. We had to get it done.
I know you addressed the West Virginia game Monday in your news conference, but just the themes of that game that you came away with, obviously a sour taste in your mouth, but more about what you guys did and less about the Mountaineers?
No question about it. Pat, obviously a disappointing outing. And to play just as below average as we could, we did not play good and had a chance to win the game. That's the kind of football team I think we still have. I think we got a talented football team. I tell our guys every day how good they are. We're talented. We just didn't play. We didn't play like we need to play. Was it the first game on the road? As a coach, you still don't know why. I've asked every kid. We've had meetings just to kind of say, hey, what can I do better? What can I, did I get you too cranked up? Did I not get you cranked up enough? But we didn't execute, and we got to go out and execute.
Obviously, you get into conference play now, and the records are 0 and 0. What do you think about the response of your football team? Not just last week, but now getting into game prep.
Yeah, there's no question. Our kids are ready to go. They know what's on the line here. They know what the goals are. They know where we want to go. It all starts with an ACC championship, and you got to take these one game at a time here. And what better way to bring Louisville in here at noon on Saturday and kick it off. So we're excited, and the players are excited. I think we've had really 2 good days of practice. Have another one tomorrow, our perfect Thursday, Pat, where things will be perfect. Except Bob Junko won't be there. Usually Bob Junko's out there screaming and yelling.
Coach Junk's not going to be there.
He's not going to be there tomorrow, but I think we're going to have a picture of him there. We got Craig Stover will be there.
Yeah.
So I think our kids really enjoy having those 2 out there, just kind of cheering them on, making sure they know it is perfect Thursday. Let's go out and execute.
Yeah, speaking of Bob Junko's grandson, Caleb Junko is going to be our guest tonight, our player guest on the Pat Narduzzi Show. And Craig Stover and Coach Junk sit in their little lawn chairs, well away from the action during practice, but I still think
sometimes too close.
I still think Junk keeps the stopwatch going. He's got a hang time on Caleb, right?
He does.
How accurate it is, we don't know.
I think he's using his thumb too. We got to check that out. Maybe get some video.
He's been doing that for years, and he's been around the Pitt program. Obviously, the Junko name is synonymous with Pitt football. Coming up next, a special announcement this week. We'll detail that on the Pat Narduzzi Show. You're listening to that show presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
From Baldwin to Butler and all over Pittsburgh, this is the trusted source for news. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much angst and anger these days that, what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at kdkradio.com.
Get Marty is presented by Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Levin Furniture, UPMC Health System, CNS Construction, John Keefe Restaurant Group of Oakmont, and by Robert Pierce and Associates.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Welcome back to the Pat Narduzzi Show, live from Hotel Indigo, just off the Hot Metal Bridge here, adjacent to the Pitt football practice facility. We got Title Man in the house with his wife Linda. They're in the house. The Hubers are strong supporters, and we're here every Wednesday, except for open weeks. We had an off week last week, so Coach, we got a lot to catch up on today, and this show is presented by the Power of Bowser. Gary was here for the last show. I think he's playing golf in Myrtle Beach right now.
Good for him.
Lucky dog. I talked to him earlier in the week about a gentleman that's going to be honored on Friday night. It's the Pitt Hall of Fame this week, and one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Pitt defender of all time, Aaron Donald, will be honored. And he's also been told that his jersey is going to be retired, so no one will don that number 97. Coach, I know you've got a chance to know him over your 11 seasons here. Your impressions, your thoughts about his jersey being immortalized.
You know what? To be the head coach and be, the head coach while Aaron Donald gets retired, I mean, that's incredible. When I think of Aaron Donald, I think first class in every respect. I mean, not only was he a great football player, but it's what he does off the field. What he does in the community, what he does with our players, just, the give back to the University of Pittsburgh, what he's done for our facility, our weight room. I mean, Aaron Donald is first class. He's a guy that could be way above, and there's some of those guys like that, as we all know. But he's one of those guys. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He gets it, and he wants to give back.
Yeah, he was overlooked by a lot of schools, when he was coming out of Penn Hills High School, and Pitt afforded him an opportunity. Obviously, he played for Dave Wanstedt, then played for a couple coaches, then Paul Christ ultimately. He was that prototypical, became kind of a template, I think, for a 3 technique that was disruptive. I would venture to say he'd do well in your defense.
Oh, my gosh. I can't imagine with all the zone blitzes and what we do. He would be incredible. He was great in any defense, and we got to thank Dave Wanstedt, obviously for recruiting him and getting him here. Dave is the best, and did a great job recruiting, getting great players here at Pitt. So, thank you, Dave, for bringing Aaron Donald to Pittsburgh and helping him get that jersey retired and having a great NFL career.
You have continued a legacy at the defensive line position over your tenure here of draft picks, first-round picks, obviously in Kalijah Kancey. We wish him a speedy recovery with his, I think, torn bicep that he suffered.
Yeah,
for
Peck, I think.
Peck, excuse me. But Rashad Weaver, Patrick Jones, a slew of them, Jalen Twyman. How much does a legacy play into that room and the players you have today trying to uphold that?
I think it plays a little part. I can't say it plays a big part. I mean, everybody's got their own story to write. And I think, when our kids come in, they want to be around Aaron Donald. They want to see him in the weight room. They want to see him working out in the indoor facility. But, I think just knowing that you can develop like that at Pitt, I think that's the story that has to be told is, we can develop you here. We can make you great. And you can go on and make a lot of money in the National Football League.
And speaking of player development, just widening our lens a little bit, college football, we haven't talked in a week on this show. There's been a lot going on around the periphery of college football for the last 5 years, right? Obviously, the transfer portal, NIL. Now there's obviously some changes being made to the transfer portal. You're focused on playing games in a season, but now that I have your attention, the fact that there's going to be one window again, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. I think, when that portal opens up, it's an anxious time for every coach in the country. I think, a lot of times, the place that kid is at is the best place for them. And I think, giving these kids too many options, growing up, we didn't have options.
Nope.
Your mom and dad told us you're going to do this, you're going to go cut the yard. There wasn't an option where I think I'm going to transfer and maybe go stay at my girlfriend's house because, her dad's not making me cut the grass. I mean, like, what are we asking our kids to do? So I think too many options are bad for kids, and I think leaving it open one window, one short window is great for the kids. They give an opportunity. I'm all for the transfer portal for guys to get opportunities to maybe go play someplace that they can play. But with all the tampering that goes on, and the longer the window's open, the just bigger chaos it creates.
Think about the players that you've coached that have gone through difficult times during the course of their career. Pick Kenny Pickett, Ben Sauls, and then they
Mr. Junko over here.
Mr. Junko. But going through that obviously is a life lesson that really you can't put a price tag on.
I just think my dad always taught me growing up, like, I'm not going to let you quit anything. If you start it, you're going to finish, and I think that's what it's all about. And I think if we teach our young how to quit, the game now, and quit and move on, they're going to quit on their jobs, they're going to quit on their wives, they're going to quit on their kids, and that's not a good thing to teach.
Well, speaking of finishing things and not quitting, coming up on the Pat Narduzzi Show, we'll talk to Caleb Junko. Pitt's punter is averaging 44 yards a punt, which is his career high average. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Serve up your bacon rashers and white pudding as Larry Richard is heading across the pond Friday for the Gridiron Battle at Croke Park in Ireland. It's the Big K Morning Show from Dublin, presented by AAA Travel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he'll roll the shades up and, Dada, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not going to live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
What does a teddy bear dream of? A teddy bear dreams of a best friend that tucks them in at night and wakes them up in the morning, who they share laughs and very secret secrets with. A best friend who they grow up with. What teddy bears don't dream of is being left alone, outside in the rain, in a shrine for school shooting victims who could have been their best friends.
School shootings are preventable. Learn the warning signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind.
Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Back at the Hotel Indigo for the Pat Narduzzi Show, joined by a special guest, our player guest, who's getting his mic adjusted by Chris Pickle, 97 head coach Pat Narduzzi, Caleb Junko. Mr. Junko, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
This is, are you familiar with radio work? Have you done this before?
Not at all. First time.
The punter doesn't get requested for interviews that often?
Not too often.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your granddad got it requested for a lot of interviews, and Junko's a name, Coach Narduzzi, that is there's been through a lot of halls in that facility. Coach Junko, obviously most notably, but Caleb and then his brother Josh. You've coached a couple.
No doubt. Coach Junko down at Upper St. Clair. We're blessed to have Junkos in the room. You got another year eligibility?
Nope, last one.
This might be the last Junko we have come through here, and I hope Coach Junko, Bob Junko, comes to practice next year when he's not here. You know?
He'll be there.
I think he will.
I'm pretty sure that's part of his routine. What do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't think he's stopping?
I don't think you guys.
Okay, you
this
say
doesn't
for
matter.
sure. You say for sure, but let me just tell you, he loves you to death, and that's
Yeah.
why he's there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out like how
He's
much.
got- I
you know,
mean,
how much
he'll-
more energy he has.
He'll get the other punters' times when I'm gone. He loves that.
He has a lot, obviously, to play for. And Caleb, we're proud of you, too. 44 yards per punt. You've
Thank
been terrific this season. Your coach tells me your placement has been the key this season. Long of 56, 350 plus, 3 inside the 20. But your best punt of your career, we got to go back a couple years.
Okay.
The 85-yard punt.
Oh yeah.
It was
against-
84 yards, wasn't it?
No, it was 85.
It was 85.
The record was 84. He had 85 and set the record for a bowl game and set the record at the University of Pittsburgh. And I think it was into the wind, right?
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say it was into the wind. No help from the wind.
This was
say that.
obviously
Well,
the Sun
if it
Bowl.
was into the
It was
wind,
into the
then-
open
then-
end, into the open
Then
end.
Ben Saw's field goals, who's with the Atlanta Falcons right now, by the way.
Congrats to him.
Then he was kicking the field goals into with the wind, but I don't think that's the case. I think he was kicking with the wind a little bit.
You were
but
kicking with the wind, but you know what? Got a nice
down
bounce.
there it's swirling.
Yeah,
But I will
swirling
tell
in
you,
El Paso.
But I will tell you about that punt. I watched it this afternoon, getting ready to talk to you today. You got drilled.
Oh yeah, I got laid out.
on that
Got
punt.
laid out. Yeah.
And it's still obviously 85. What's that feel like? You know, to drill a punt like that and pin him. Not only booted 85,
Yeah.
but it pinned him at the 1.
Yeah, it's something crazy. Like it's not anything different. Like I didn't change anything. Didn't try to hit
Just
the
caught
biggest
it.
ball of my life. Just caught it right and got a huge bounce off of it too. So it just worked out. It's awesome.
Now, what in your improvement over the course of your career, Coach Pronowski now taking over the special teams. You've obviously been punting now for 3 years as a starter. You had some spot duty in 2022. What do you attribute your improvement to and your consistency?
I think it's just the coaching staff and like the teammates' confidence in me. Them having the confidence in me to go out there and flip the field, like help the offense out, get out of sticky situations, and set the defense up nicely. I think that's what helps me go out there and do my job every time. You know I have to. That's how you win games is with good field position. So I have to set up the defense perfectly.
Just like a kicker coach, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. You get so many opportunities in a game to go and do your job. You don't get the next play might not be for 25 minutes.
Yeah, people don't realize the pressure that's on these kickers, the quarterback, the punters, especially those guys that have that special job that all eyes are on. The holder, the snapper. Those are some critical jobs, man. Because if it's just off and we don't get the strings, whatever it may be, it could be fatal. In the execution that our specialists have done, and Coach Bro's done a great job. And they've got a nice thing going on with our specialists. They got they're a cohesive group that all get along well. It's not always like that. There's always sometimes some attitudes in that room if they're not playing. But he's gotten much better. He's not bragging on himself, but it's been the success has not just been because of your teammates believe in you. Okay, we've continued to believe in you whether you have a bad punt or good punt. But you've worked your tail off during the off season.
Yeah.
How much
Explain
you
to
learned?
that.
How much you learned from Ben Sauls?
Oh,
Throughout the process, because you talk about that room coach. That's a lonely island.
Yeah.
Being a specialist, and you got to get comfortable being on that island. You saw Ben battle through early career adversity, and overcome it, and become one of the best kickers in the country.
Yeah, he pretty much just taught me how to be a pro. Go in there every day, treat this like it's your job, because eventually it will be. And not only that, I got to my first year here was with Cal and Kirk, like two greats, like learning from Cal, and that being my first introduction into a college specialist world is something that not a lot of people get. So I'm super fortunate that I was able to experience that.
Now you're passing it along to Trey Bukowski as you hold for placements.
Yeah.
What have been your impressions of how he's handled a little bit of a quick introduction to college football?
Yeah, I was super proud of him on how he bounced back against West Virginia. I don't think there's a lot of freshmen in the country that could do that. And to kind of be thrown into that kind of environment and step up the way he did, I'm super proud of him, and I'm just going to keep supporting him and have his back no matter what.
We're going to dive into the background of Caleb Junko next on the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your mornings. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM, and AM 1020 KDKA.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council. Many postmenopausal women like me have osteoporosis. There is no cure, but simple changes in our lives can keep us on the path to healthier bones. Osteoporosis can weaken your bones and slowly rob you of your independence. A daily exercise routine, along with a diet rich in calcium and vitamin D, can make a huge difference in your bone health. Taking care of your bones is necessary for healthy aging and lifelong independence. Learn how to start your own path to good bone health. Get bone health tips at pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Welcome back to the Pat Narduzzi Show. Joined not only by head coach Pat Narduzzi, but also Pitt starting punter for the last 3 seasons, Caleb Junko. And that last name sounds familiar to you because his grandfather was a longtime coach at Pitt, defensive line coach, played at Tulsa way back in the day. He's from Little Washington down the road. He's the only person I still calls it Little Washington. He calls it that. And is obviously involved in recruiting and high school relations for years and years and still is at practice. You're a Junko. I know your story's a little bit different, and we'll get into that. But growing up in the Junko house, holidays at Grandma and Grandpa's, what was that like?
A little bit crazy. You know, always being told to saw that wood at the dinner table.
He told you to not saw the turkey, saw the wood.
No, saw
right?
that wood. You got to finish what's on your plate.
That's how it was?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Now, did he cook, or did...
Grandma handled it.
Judy cooked.
Yeah, he would eat. He'd eat and then pass out on the couch. It's always been like that. Or he'd always tell us to go grab more plates. He didn't want leftovers.
And then actually your dad and uncles all were around the game too, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that was in their blood.
Yeah.
So for you, I understand. I don't know the full story, so I'm going to give you the podium here.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't quite get the football itch like everybody else.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I grew up going to football games. I even went to the Pitt kids camps back in the day, and just something, I never liked it. I don't know what it was. It was soccer, no matter what. It was the only sport I played. Tried baseball, hated it. Like, it was just soccer. And my brother grew up playing football. They always said that I should give it a try, and I didn't want to give it a crack until senior year. Like, COVID kind of messed up soccer recruiting and stuff, so took a chance kicking a football. First time I ever kicked a football, if you want me to get into it.
Get into it, man.
All right. First time I kicked a football was I was up in a soccer tournament in Newcastle. Me and my dad, and they had the specialist like showcase thing going on that Saturday.
At Pitt.
Yeah, in the indoor. Yeah. And my grandpa texted my dad and was like, hey, they're going to be kicking in the indoor if you want to come try it. I'd never kicked a football day in my life. Never even tried it. So I was like, you know what? Sure, we're going to try it. So we showed up. Didn't have a stick, didn't have a football, nothing. He's like, all right, we got to find you a football. He's like, go ask somebody, while he was talking to somebody. I go up to him and I ask him, and I didn't know who you were at the time. I said, somebody should have told me.
Him, for our listeners, being Coach Narduzzi.
Yeah, Coach Narduzzi, yeah. And I walk right up to him and I said, hey, I don't have a football or a stick. He goes, you didn't bring a football or a stick to a kicking camp? He goes, what's your name? I said, Caleb Junko. He goes, somebody get this kid a ball. So then I ended up winning the camp with like a 55-yard field goal, talking to Coach Powell and Coach Narduzzi afterwards, and they just said they'd keep in touch. So
wow,
here I am.
So this is kicking. This isn't punting.
Yeah.
You had never punted a football at that point.
Nope, never.
He never kicked a football at that point.
So kicking a football and
but
punting,
he wanted to be a kicker, not a punter.
Yeah.
And he can kick too now.
Right, no question. He kicked off a little bit throughout your career as well, and I've seen you kick it. But punting is a whole other technique in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's not a
totally
round
foreign
ball.
to me. Yeah.
It's not a round ball.
Yeah,
It's oblong.
kicking, I was able to pick up a little easy. It's stationary, It's like soccer, but punting was totally foreign. So.
Really good at onside kicks, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, one we recovered way back against Rhode Island. That was, 2022, I think that was?
Yeah.
21?
Yeah.
That was way back in the day.
Yeah.
Want to tell them that story?
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I remember that one because I'm not sure who called that one.
Hey,
Yeah,
real story, everybody thinks-
miscommunication.
Miscommunication. So we're going to kick an onside kick afterwards. And we already have the plan prior to. Ben Sauls goes out there and kicks and gets roughed. It was Ben, right?
Yeah.
Ben gets roughed, so he's out. He's hurt. So I'm like, well, okay, onside's off. Well, he didn't get the message.
Well, I was sitting on the bench, helmet off. I was like, oh, this game's over. We're done. I'm going to go home, do whatever. And I start hearing, Junko, Junko, Junko. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go kick. And the ball's on the 50. Nobody told me that. I get out there and they're like, oh, we're doing it onside. I was like, all right.
So you just ran.
I'd never done it before. I was like, all right, we're doing it live.
So you're one for one.
One for one. One for one.
We'll keep that in the mental bank there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So off the field, obviously you're new to football, but off the field, I understand this summer was a big summer for you.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, you got engaged.
Yep, got engaged. My high school, middle school sweetheart. Yep.
So what year in middle school did you guys start dating?
You
got to give her a name. We got to get her.
Allie Campanella, my girlfriend, or my fiance.
From
now.
Akron?
Yep, from Akron. She is the best part of my life. I'm trying to do everything for her. She supports me through everything, so it's super special what we got. Rode the bus together all through middle school. Next door neighbors.
Did you sit next to her on the bus, or were you kind of shy?
Oh, yeah, I sat next to her on the bus.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would hang out after.
How old?
I mean, we were probably, 6th through 8th grade, however old we were
6th,
then.
7th, and 8th grade. I didn't sit next to girls on the bus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we were neighbors. It was like I grew up around her, so we were always going over to each other's houses, playing on the trampoline when we were little. So she was always in my life, and she stuck by me. I don't know how she put up with me this long, but
So when's the wedding? That's most important.
Next summer.
I think I saw June 8th. I've done my research.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Putting it out there. Not that everyone's invited, but I want to put it out there in the ether for folks.
I feel bad. I haven't done much of the planning. I haven't been
That's
involved.
probably
too
a
much.
good thing.
It's probably a good thing. I've given a few. Yeah, I've given a few little some of my wants, and they've been rejected for the most part. But
So let's talk future goals here. Rest of this season. What's your focus on as you progress through 2025 and then beyond? Because you went from not knowing much about football to probably being an NFL punter, Caleb.
yeah, I mean, my goal is just to do whatever I can for this team. I want to lead the nation, lead the country. Lead the ACC in net punt and average punt yards, and I just want to do whatever I can to get to the NFL.
Coach, I think he's got a pretty good shot.
He does. If he keeps placing that ball where it needs to be, he's got a big job this weekend. Keeping it away from
we're going to get into that.
He's got to put that ball on the sideline, not give that guy a chance to take it to the house.
How about a round of applause for Caleb Junko, our special guest here on the Pat Narduzzi Show. And coming up next, we'll get into who Louisville is and their dangerous running back, return man, their defense, and much, much more. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
No one gets you closer to the Pitt Panthers than the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Go inside the locker rooms, on the sidelines, and inside the game as we provide exclusive analysis, breaking news, and recruiting updates all season long. Have a question or want to comment on how Pitt's doing? Join a chat with a Post-Gazette reporter at postgazette.com/Pitt. From the football field to the volleyball court, the Post-Gazette has the best eyes and ears on all Pitt sports.
As on the football field, financial planning requires a comprehensive playbook to win the wealth management game. JKS Financial understands that your needs are unique and will provide the game plan to win your financial goals. Their wealth advisors use proven strategies with a focus on retirement distribution and will coach you through your journey to financial stability and peace of mind for the future. Visit jksfinancial.com.
Hey, who's that girl helping you with your draft picks?
Oh, that's my Clearview expert, Jen. What do you always say, Jen?
Diversify your lineup, just like your investment portfolio.
Yes! She's a genius!
Financial advice is closer than you think. Clearview, clearly different.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life. Your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
It's the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Here's what you need to know about Louisville. Brought to you by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. We're at the Pat Narduzzi Show. We're at the Hotel Indigo right off the Hot Metal Bridge, just down the hill from the University of Pittsburgh. Coach, Louisville, it starts with their head coach, Jeff Brom, his third season. This program starts with offense.
It really does. Jeff Brom's a offensive guru who really is. Wherever he's been, whatever quarterback he's touched, he's turned to gold. From his days back in the days when he was with Petrino at Louisville to his Purdue days, and obviously back to Louisville as a head coach. So he does a great job. He's got a transfer quarterback, Millen Ross from USC, that is a really good football player. I think he's still learning that offense as well. But he's a guy that's got a great arm and can put the ball in the right spot. So, and he's got some targets out there. The Cullen Lacey kid is a kid they'll try to get him in different ways. Whether it be jet sweeps and shovel passes, whatever it may be, they're going to just try to get the ball in his hand. Obviously, he's an electric punt returner as well, which I've had a coach tell me, do not punt the ball to him. It's like, well, who are we going to punt it to? He's back there. We're not going to, we're not going to rugby punt it or try to sky punt it every time. But so he's going to be back there, and we're going to have to do our job, and Caleb Junko will be huge with that. And then big Chris Bell, big number 0. A lot of times he'll play on the right side. He's special. He's fast. He's got all the tools to be an NFL wideout. He will be an NFL wideout. So we'll have our work cut out with those two guys. And then, when you're worried about those guys, Isaac Brown in the backfield, he'll be ready to go. He played 2 snaps last week, broke off, I think, an 18-yard run. They got him fresh for Pitt. I guarantee you that. They saved him up. So if there's any question out there, if you're worried about whether he's going to play or not, he will play. I'll give the early scouting report there.
The early injury report presented by Pat Narduzzi. These last 2 years, you got a chance to play Jeff Brom and his offenses. His brother Brian, who was a terrific quarterback, both were great quarterbacks at Louisville, but his brother Brian was a great player back in the mid-2000s. What are some of the schematic themes about what they do offensively that make them difficult to defend?
Well, I think, anytime that, they've got a lot of trick plays. So we've got to keep our eyes open for stuff like that. But just their different pass concepts. They do a great job of setting up things. They'll max protect and they know how to defeat coverages. So you got to change up your coverages quite often. And I think especially with the iPads, I think he's smart enough, and you see him on TV copies. He's going to the iPad, so he's looking for something. What are they playing to this? Oh, they're playing that, then I want to play that. So it's going to be a game of chess as we go through this game. He knows we're quarters teams. I'm assuming he likes to play quarters teams. We got to go out and execute. That's what it's going to come down to. But I think he likes to play against quarter team, and he's done a nice job. And they got up on us last year, and we couldn't bring it back.
One thing they've done consistently in his third season is they've gone to the transfer portal pretty heavily each offseason. This year, maybe offensively, not quite as much as on defense, but still some impact players. And at quarterback, 3 straight years, you've got a new fifth-year senior starter.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take that one guy for 1 year, and like I said, he's done a great job with all the guys. I think the last year's quarterback is with the Saints. He's done an outstanding job, and if you're a quarterback that needs to get fixed up, needs to improve in some way or another, have someone believe in you, I would imagine if my son was a quarterback out there and he was struggling somewhere, that I would say, hey, go with Jeff Brom, he'll get you fixed.
You look at their offense against the likes of James Madison. The only game they really struggled a little bit in. What were some of the things that JMU was able to do to them to slow them down?
JMU, blitzed them a lot. They did a lot of man pressures, which is not us, but they pressured them pretty good. And again, I'm not sure if Louisville was really ready for that, number one. But number two, were they cranked up? Did they believe? We're going to see the best Louisville team, just like we saw the best game probably. That team down south could have played a week ago. So we're going to get their best shot on the road.
You've used the term "Where's Waldo?" Is Lacey Waldo for them in terms of a guy that can play a number of spots?
You know what? In Waldo, I don't know if there's three. They got a few Waldos. You better know where that tailback is. Number one can go. Isaac Brown can go, and then you got to know where Bell is as well. We think we know where he's going to be, but they'll move Lacey around a lot. So probably he's the moving guy that you got to know where he is. We hope we know where Bell is. Usually he's on the outside somewhere.
And the tailback Brown, obviously you mentioned he played a couple snaps a week ago, but ACC Rookie of the Year last year, over 1,100 yards, a bunch of touchdowns. What makes him special?
He's got great vision, but it's his speed. I mean, he's a burner. I mean, he's a true burner from Miami. I mean, he can. When he runs hard, he hits the holes fast, and that's what I think. He's tough and he's fast.
Playing a back like that with how aggressive you are defensively, is there a balance between taking your shot and not overplaying it because he could take it the other way?
You know what? You got to go play football. We're not going to change how we tackle. We're going to go take our shots. We got to be physical, and we got to make the hole small because he can fit through a small crack.
Coming back on the Pat Narduzzi Show, we'll flip the script. We'll talk about the Louisville defense, which has a lot of new parts on it. Next on the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
It's the Pat Narduzzi Show.
Who's that girl help?
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hey, who's that girl helping you with your draft picks?
Oh, that's my Clearview expert, Jen. What do you always say, Jen?
Diversify your lineup, just like your investment portfolio.
Yes! She's a genius! Financial advice is closer than you think. Clearview, clearly different.
The University of Pittsburgh is one of the nation's oldest institutions of higher education. The Hail to Pitt program highlights the history, success, and goodwill of businesses rooted in Pittsburgh. Pitt Athletics would like to recognize a Hail to Pittsburgh corporate partner, Bowser Automotive, a family-owned dealership offering new and used vehicles, expert service, and financing across top brands, delivering trusted care, value, and a seamless car buying experience since 1983. Thank you, Bowser Automotive, for your support of Pitt, because together, we hail to Pittsburgh.
When it comes to financial planning, most financial companies ask, what's your salary? At Northwestern Mutual, we ask, what's your story? We know building the right financial plan means looking at more than money. That's why we start by asking the right questions, listening to what matters most to you, then guiding you every step of the way to help you live the life you want. Plan your financial story with Northwestern Mutual. Contact Northwestern Mutual Pittsburgh today. Visit pittsburgh.nm.com. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At the University of Pittsburgh, the gold standard is the championship level that Pitt Athletics programs strive to achieve. This season, Pitt Athletics is recognizing those businesses that support Pitt Athletics at the gold standard championship level. Pitt Athletics would like to recognize its 2025 gold standard corporate partners, Clearview Federal Credit Union and the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Thank you for supporting Pitt Athletics. Together, we go for gold.
It's the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
It's Pitt, Louisville, Saturday, noon kickoff at Acrisure Stadium. Coverage starting at 8 a.m. Bill Hillgrove, myself, and Doran Dickerson will have the call. And, Coach, we talked about defending Miller Moss and defending Isaac Brown and Bell, the receiver, Lacey, the receiver. I know you got 11 guys on defense, but that Panther pit is a big part of what you guys are going to want to do this weekend.
No question about it. We need that place to be loud. When on the scoreboard it says get loud or whatever it says up there, it needs to be loud. That's part of defending them. And if we can get a couple of illegal procedures on them, Panther Pit, we can't wait to sing that fight song with you in that end zone.
Yeah, and the Pit Pope will be a big part of that. Ian Labich is in here. He's here every week. He's dedicated, and he's got some power, this Pope does, with his outfit and stuff, and we need his help on Saturday getting those students to Acrisure bright and early. Coach, their defense, Louisville's defense, that is, co-defensive coordinators, not like offense where kind of it's Jeff Brom's show and his brother Brian. Mark Hagan, Ron English, a lot of new players. Defensively, What do you see scheme-wise from the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a 4-down deal. Mark Hagan, I've known Mark Hagan, the co-defensive coordinator with Ron English for a long time. We worked together at Northern Illinois, so I know he's a tough dude. I know he comes from the same cloth that I've been through. So we ran defense together. He was a D-line coach. I was a linebacker coach there. So Mark's a hell of a coach, and we'll get those guys jacked up and ready to play for us. So, but we're going to see a 4-down, multiple coverages. I mean, they're going to be kind of like us a little bit as far as the structure in the back end. Some cover 2, some cover 4, cover 3, cover 1. But I think they're going to try to change it up, see if they can confuse the quarterback and the receivers as far as their route conversions.
This is a battle of the top 2 teams in the ACC in terms of sacks, and they've obviously had some really good players. Louisville's 2, Pitt's 1 in sacks in the Atlantic Coast Conference right now. Louisville's had some really good players come and go out of their program on that defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Ashton Gelati is with the Kansas City Chiefs now, actually playing really well for the Chiefs. But they got another one in Cleve Lubin, who is a transfer. He's played at a number of different schools, but most recently he was at Coastal Carolina, and he's got 3.5 sacks through 3 games.
Yeah, he's a good football player. He got speed. He's got pass rush moves, and like I said, he's got a great D-line coach. So he's a guy that we got to know where he is. That's Waldo on the defense. You better know he's got speed and he can beat you around the corner.
Stanquan Clark, their middle linebackers played for him, got banged up. They've got a lot of new parts on the back end. Just globally in college football, how hard do you think when you start getting into game planning, you start having to switch things up, is it to get a group to come together that really hasn't played a game before together?
Yeah, it's never easy. I mean, I think and again, especially when you want to get into those game changing. We got Javon McIntyre in the hash. Cruz has been here for a year. When you have new guys back there, it's hard to kind of tweak stuff week to week like you'd like to when you face these different offenses and different stuff that they can do to you. So I think but they got talent. They got talent, and they'll keep it simple. And they've got great coaches.
Coaches, as Cade Bell gets into his second year, you guys obviously middle part of last season started seeing more of the 3 safety stuff. How much have you seen copycat defense being played against your offense over the past, let's call it, year?
We've seen a bunch of it, like every week. I mean, it seems like every week you go out there and you're prepared during the week for one thing and you get a different thing, which, we're kind of prepared for that now. You would think, 14, 15 games in that you're getting used to people just changing it up on you because of, not only the skill I think we have at the receiver position, but just how we do it, all the motions. It's hard to go out there and play man-free and just lock guys down with all the motions that are going on. There's going to be busts if you do that. Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the reasons if Cade maybe just settle down and line up in a normal formation, maybe they just play it straight. I don't know. Maybe that's
I'm not sure that's in his DNA. But, Coach, as you get to your 4th game of the year, obviously coming off of a difficult loss where there was a lot of self-inflicted wounds, how much is this mostly about what we do, not what the opponent does?
Every week it's like that, Pat. We can sit here and talk about all these guys that are going to come here in their white jerseys with some red markings on it, but those Cardinals, that's great. It's about what Pitt does, and I say it every week. It's about what we do, how we do it, and the intensity we bring to it. So it is always that way, Pat.
Coming back on the Pat Narduzzi Show, we'll wrap things up from the Hotel Indigo, and we'll do it presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
At GBU Life, we specialize in life insurance and annuity products to help protect families and anchor retirements. But we do things a little differently. When you choose GBU Life, you become a member of an organization that supports you, your personal goals, and your community causes. Ready to be a member? Visit GBU.org. GBU Life is the marketing name for GBU Financial Life. Life insurance is underwritten and annuities are issued by GBU Financial Life, Pittsburgh, PA. GBU Life and its agents do not provide legal, tax, or financial advice. Please consult with your advisor.
When it comes to financial planning, most financial companies ask, what's your salary? At Northwestern Mutual, we ask, what's your story? We know building the right financial plan means looking at more than money. That's why we start by asking the right questions, listening to what matters most to you, then guiding you every step of the way to help you live the life you want. Plan your financial story with Northwestern Mutual. Contact Northwestern Mutual Pittsburgh today. Visit pittsburgh.nm.com. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Bill Hillgrove. Life moves fast, but planning ahead doesn't have to be complicated.
Exactly, Bill. That's why NSS Life offers affordable life insurance and reliable annuities you can count on.
It's the peace of mind you've been looking for.
Because you're not just planning for tomorrow, you're building a future that lasts a lifetime.
NSS Life. Secure today, confident tomorrow.
NSS Live, where family matters.
No one gets you closer to the Pitt Panthers than the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Go inside the locker rooms, on the sidelines, and inside the game as we provide exclusive analysis, breaking news, and recruiting updates all season long. Have a question or want to comment on how Pitt's doing? Join a chat with a Post-Gazette reporter at postgazette.com/Pitt. From the football field to the volleyball court, the Post-Gazette has the best eyes and ears on all Pitt sports.
It's the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by the Power Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Wrapping things up from the Hotel Indigo of the Pat Narduzzi Show, and a special shout-out to Margot Rensel back at Studio Central up at Foster Plaza for getting us on the air. We had some technical difficulties. T-Bird, Tom Catanzarite, here at Hotel Indigo. Piecing
Margot's
things together.
got the mics are hot.
She's got, Margot is,
I love it.
She means business. She's got this thing running efficiently, and we're back on schedule, which is good stuff. You got to find a way, Coach. I know you talk to your team about that all the
Blue
time.
vase.
You got to blue vase it. No more needs to be said. Coach, I want to ask you about, obviously, penalties were a big part of the West Virginia game. And I know being at practice as many times as I have, you coach discipline as hard as anybody. What's the line? How do you coach that without overcoaching it?
Yeah, we've overcoached it before. I can guarantee you that. Sometimes you keep saying penalty, penalty, penalty. All they do is penalty, penalty, penalty.
Right.
So, we've got officials at practice every day. I mean, so it's not like we go out there and practice and don't have discipline.
Just freewheel it, right?
We're a disciplined football team. It's just sometimes they don't go your way, and there's some tight calls that get called, and you're kind of looking at it like, what? But I've just talked to our guys this week about we just got to go out and play clean football. We got to know they're calling everything close on us, so we just got to be careful. We just got to, I don't want to say don't play aggressive. That's a scary thing.
But I know you categorize penalties too, right? There's effort ones.
Yeah,
right?
We got unforced errors, which is jumping off sides, lining up off sides on defense, or or legal procedure on offense, lining up the wrong weight receivers, which we've had none of those. But with the noise last week, we had some issues that came up, I guess, which we really, even in noisy atmospheres, we haven't had that in the past. So there was some clapping going on the other side of the ball, which we can't control, but the officials are supposed to. So we have our unforced errors. We have what we call aggressive penalties, which are going to be a holding call, going to be a face mask.
Right.
I mean, those are going to happen. You're going to you're going to hold in the back end. You're going to hold on the offensive line. I mean, it happens every play. You could call holding every play in a game. If you wanted to. And then we have what we call selfish penalties, which are the worst. Those are the ones where you score a touchdown and you want to do a backflip, which I think we've been pretty good with those. We don't need any unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Coach, let's talk about your quarterback, Eli Holstein. Obviously, through 3 games, his stats are really good. There were some missed opportunities against West Virginia, obviously. I think people forget, though, this is a young man making his 10th or 11th start. So this is still newer to him. He's experienced, but how would you assess his play through 3 games?
I think he's played solid. I really do. I think, obviously the first 2 games were really good, and then, you think about the last game when we left some things out there that we, for us to be a great offense, it starts with the quarterback position, right? He's got to play really good, and that's our expectations, is for our quarterback to go out there and make plays. And he's got the talent to do it. It's just about consistency, and and again, those other guys on defense are on scholarship too, right? I mean, they're coaching against you, and they're going to try to put you in a bad position or try to confuse you a little bit. So it's just locking in, being focused, and being 100% consistent, and getting some help from your teammates.
Coach, is there more meat on the bone in the run game, do you think?
Yes, there's some more meat. It better be. We need to get our run game going.
Defensively for you guys this weekend, I'd imagine the biggest key is slowing Brown down to start.
Yeah, you got to stop the run. Just like we got to get our run game going, as you just spoke about the meat on the bone, and we've got to stop the run. I mean, that hurt us last week, and we did not stop the run. That drives me crazy. I mean, I'm a big stop. You better be able to stop the run, and we're going to face a team that can run the football.
Behind Brown, what do they have in the backfield, the Cardinals?
The Watson Brown too. The backup's really good. Who did not play last week, and again, I don't know what his ability to play is going to be, but Duke Watson is the best next back that should be in there. 6 foot 100 kid. He did not play last week, but the other kid, Quan Brown, he played really well too. He's a big back. So they got 3 very capable backs. And they all know how to run the football.
I listened to Jeff Brom's press conference. It sounds like he's emphasized special teams in the offseason. What do you make of their units?
Well, I think they're really excited about that punt returner. The Lacey kid is a punt returner. That gets everybody excited. I think we're excited about our special teams units too. So I think it'll be a big special teams challenge for both teams to go out there and show, who's got the best unit in the conference.
What do you expect to see from your guys when that ball kicks off Saturday, Coach?
I want to see execution. I want to see focus. I've talked all week just about, being focused and being ready to go. We have to go out and execute. You cannot just think you can throw your helmet on the field and think you're going to win a football game. It's just not going to happen. And if you don't have focus, you can do it in practice every day, but you got to go out and focus in the games and go out and execute.
So it's a 2-game homestand for the Panthers, taking on Louisville this Saturday at noon, then Boston College a week from then, also a noon kickoff. So high noon for that Panther Pit down at Acrisure Stadium. Special shout-out to the Hotel Indigo for hosting us, the Power of Bowser for presenting the show. Shout-out to Allison Rubin. She sets all this stuff up. She does a great job. Mike Annarella, Dom in the house, manning all the media relations and press responsibilities. And, Coach, thank you for your time every week, obviously, giving us this behind the headset insight for the Pat Narduzzi Show.
Always, Patrick.
We'll be back every Wednesday, and we'll do it presented by the Power of Bowser on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.